Out of Talent podcast. We can't thank you enough for checking in, taking it in, listening to the stats. Joey Fitzsimmons, co-host. You got Joe Jr. running the show. Me, I'm main man, just trying to just rip up a couple freestyles just for you, tuning in to Ran Out of Talent. But if you ever run out of talent, don't take no time, don't take anything, just get hold of Junior or Joey and talk about it. But if you the ball on top, you're gonna talk about it. So better be ready for that.
All right, welcome to another episode of Ran Out of Talent. How's it going tonight, Joey?
Oh, it goes.
Yeah, dude, you haven't been to the track in a while. What the hell, man?
A lot of working.
I know, but shit, man. I hope you figure it out. I really do.
I have a very brief plan to be out there. Not next week, but the week after.
Yeah, because they're off next week.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, there's races. Actually, I'm going to be taking next week off because, well, basically, I don't know, man. I've been on for 3 weeks. I've been wrenching my balls off. I've just need 1 week break.
Need a break?
Yeah, that I'm back at it. Because, yeah, I'm results. So, yeah, what's new with you? Just working?
Just working. Been out fishing. Kind of enjoying life to the fullest.
You gotta be at the track instead of fishing.
Yeah, well, circumstances brought about. Yeah, I'll be there.
Yeah. Hey, Lonnie, how's it going? Lonnie, check it in.
There's only...
Huh?
I was going to say there's only, 12 people watching right now, but anybody wanting to get into it, I have a sprint car sitting right here at Sal. And I have another one sitting back there-ish I want to put together.
Right. Yeah. We'll see what happens. We're going to get into my plans as soon as we go through some results. But before we get into results, go to pwrmerch.com. Get your Ran Out of Talent merch. Get your mug. Get your T-shirt. Like Joey says, oval. Fuck no.
I'm not avoiding you like your last race director did. I actually have legit reasons for not being there. Don't worry, Gary. I haven't forgot about you.
I'm covering for your ass.
Well, I hope he's paying you.
Yeah.
Good. I'm glad there's... Yeah, you're a good announcer. You know what you're doing.
Yeah. Except last night, it was just so gnarly. It's like you're 2 laps into a race and everybody plows into each other. And it's like, do I call a false start on that shit show? What the hell?
Normally, if it ain't within the first lap and a half, just let it go.
There was one I was going to let go, but Gary was over my shoulder. He's like, restart. But before that, we went to Dollar Hobbies for the round 3 of the border battle. My stuff was great. I just was a little bit out of practice on the carpet the week prior to that. I went and raced on AstroTurf, and I just wasn't consistent. There's also an issue with like the pads and stuff like that. It would clog your outside tire with just a ton of fuzz, and then your car wouldn't steer at all. It was really rough for me. But I did get my car on the podium. You know how I got my 2-wheel on the podium?
How so?
Novice kid broke his car, so I just handed him mine. It's like, just drive it. I don't care. I'm like, this is the last time I'm going to be racing the B64 probably this year, but I might be wrong.
There was an F main sprint car?
Yeah. Dude, you missed. But anyways, Dollar Hobby border battle. People think I'm joking when I say we have the hardest B main in the country. Okay. They think I'm joking or they think I'm exaggerating and whatever. Let me read to you this B main of two-wheel drive expert buggy. Matthew Mickelson, Chris Malooly, Dwayne Fisher, Chad Neiman, Austin Jacobson, James Dolan, and Lance Parker and Chris Mickelson bumping up. I CQ'd it, but I just ate it. You know what I mean? So, Brandon's saying Cohen. Yeah.
Enlighten me a little bit about how that whole late model thing's working over there now. Are they running them yet?
Phil brought one because everybody's like, yeah, Jeremiah, that's the freaking B. We have in Minnesota the hardest two-wheel drive buggy, B main. I'm going to say it, in the country. So Jeremiah says, working Saturday sucks. Think I can get out running. See, Jeremiah's going to run this weekend, but there's no oval next week. There is a toy box. They're doing a club race next week. I believe that's the only thing running next week for the third. MMR runs every Friday night. Dollar Hobbies runs once a month on a Friday night. I mean, so
That makes me wonder if Omaha's running next weekend.
I don't know. Part of me wanted to go out of town on the 10th for that oval race.
Not
for
anymore.
Atmos. I'm thinking about it.
Are you?
I don't know. We'll see if I get my car fixed. But yeah, the late model thing feels like expecting people to show up and nobody showed up. It's like, what the hell? So
February 10th to 11th. That's the new the next series race at the Techno Winter Series.
Oh, I got you. Anyways, 13.5 four-wheel buggy at the Clash. It was Kyle Holmberg winning it, followed by Austin Jacobson and Matthew Mickelson. Two-wheel stock buggy. It was Caden Voss winning it, followed by Torot and Craig Kruger in third, coming out of retirement.
Yeah, I've seen that one. That kind of surprised me a little bit.
Yeah, no, it's good. I really like Craig at the track, and I wish he would race weekly, but he's a busy man. So intermediate two-wheel buggy was Mason Burke in the 1, Jackson Shelltrack in the 2, and Joe Senior in the 3. Joe Senior put a 21.5 in his car, and he's going to start dialing that in for basically Iowa in a few weeks, and 21.5 is basically going to be like the regular Joe stock class, so he's getting it dialed in for that. Kyle Holmberg said he's going to have the new B7 at MMR Friday. So I think I got not screwed, but I think I got left out of the first batch. Jake
How many do you
Wiggs,
think they ran out of their first batch?
probably 2,000.
That's a lot of cars.
No, it's not. Not for a new 2,000 would be a lot for a .1 or a .2. Hey, Kim, checking in. 2,000 would be a lot for a .1 or a .2, whatever, like a revision, but it's not a lot for an initial release at all. I bet you they probably sold 10,000 pre-orders, but had like 10,000 pre-orders. Scott's wondering when the B8's coming out. Well, they're gonna do Team Associated's gonna do the revisions a whole shit ton. It's not gonna be like the B5. They're gonna get their money's worth out of the molds. So probably 6-7 years. Jake's wondering about Iowa champs. I'm going, and Austin's going, and Senior and Joe 3 are going. That's the group going in my truck.
Don't even ask me because I'm not going.
See, this is the one you got to go to because, I mean, we're doing oval the day after on a Sunday.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, it's tempting, but I gotta.
So now listen to this. And we're going to talk about this in private, but I was given some oval BS for the first time yesterday, but we'll talk about that and we'll talk about that off the air. I got my first time being severely lied to about prep. So, oh yeah, we'll talk about that. And then last night we ran at the hobby farm. Look at final results. We'll talk about a couple of them. So Joe 3, we got his street stock ready to go. And
Is he still hooked?
Yeah, so we ran it. We had him run it in. Oh, Brandon's saying, sorry, that's my boy who ran your B64. Oh, yeah, that's Brandon's kid who won at the dollar race with my B64. He did great with it. I go, it was fast and it turned a lot, huh? He's like, yeah. But then all of a sudden I saw it started pushing. I'm like, yeah, about 3 minutes in, it started pushing on you pretty good. He's like, yeah, what happened? I go, look at the front tires. I forgot my tires at home. And this is what sucks. So Joe 3 got in trouble, okay? So Beth came all the way to Woodbury, picked him up, and then when she was 10 minutes down the road of bringing him back home, I realized I forgot my tires at home. So I had fuzz bites, a good set of fuzz bites in the front, and those really picked up the fuzz off the pads and junk like that. What I wanted was like a set of worn out, what are they called? Why am I blanking on it? The other car, no, not pin swags.
Oh, okay.
That's fine. Yeah. Yeah, and that's all I had. And they ain't have anything in the hobby shop. So it's like, well, and it's like it was frustrating because in the start of every heat, I'm like, God, my car feels, I mean, it felt like an A-main car. In that group, you had in all of the A and the top 6 of the B were national level drivers. I knew I wasn't going to make it out of the B, but I thought if I could make it up there, I'd battle pretty good. But my tires clogged up in the C, and it's like, but yeah. Anyway, so we'll go back to the hobby farm. So Joe 3, we got his car pretty good. Actually, the main, it was loose because turn 4 was pure dust at that point, which is fine. Everybody had to deal with the same thing. But for the heat races, he was pushing. Like, because I put a used set of foams in those street stock tires.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm glad I talked to Gary because I sauced them twice that night. And I think I'm just going to sauce them once a race day so they don't balloon up on us. But yeah, the tires were good after 2 practice runs. And
that's the nice thing about oval is tires break in like that.
Yeah, well, mine were brand new, and so I borrowed a A-arm weight from Trevor, 15 gram, and dude, it really stabled out my back end, but it's weird. So I was way more consistent. So my average in a qualifier is quick 29, slow 30 with Midwest mod. I was averaging about a 10th slower a lap than normal, maybe 2 tenths even, but I was hitting a 31 in round 2. So I was just 4.1s over and over and over and over again, and I ended up with a 4 and a 6. I got BQ. I got annihilated in that main.
That'll happen.
But, I was pissed off, but then I went to announce some mains, and that happened in every main just about. I'm like, dude, it's just something in the air. We'll go to Midwest Modified. Your top 3 was Noah Maddox with that rear motor car, Clayton Cartluca in the 2, and Frank Miller in the 3. You know, your usual suspects. It was good. And then Clayton, I don't know what happened, but Clayton goes, I'll start from the back of sprint car. And they pulled money together and they said, if you win, we'll give you $60. And he had a pretty good lead. And like the second to the last lap, he got piled up and a marshal stepped on his car and all that stuff.
Oh no.
And he only ended up winning by about a second over Kyle Quast. So it was Clayton in the 1, Kyle in the 2, Dustin in the 3. And then street stock, it was Dustin Nelson, Wes Howland, and Noah Maddox. Josh Sassy and Clayton Cartluca came all the way from the C up into the A. Clayton was having one hell of a time last night. He got a different street stock. The SR10, he's like, it was fun, but it is what it is. He was struggling.
Yeah, I haven't talked to him today yet. I was going to call him earlier, but then I got to doing some stuff.
Yeah. But anyway, so back to what I was going to talk about. So this week, if I don't get tracking for B7s, I'm going, so they sold out this first group, right? It's gone. I don't know if they're done. I mean, that's a lot of boxing up and shipping. They started shipping out Friday. So I'll wait until like Wednesday to make this decision. I'm going to buy somebody's Sprint and have that because the next batch of B7s under the Team Associated webpage says May. Yeah. And by that time, no. I'll buy them in the fall. I mean, I want them. So I won one also.
Oh.
We'll be seeing if I get that. That's another thing we got to talk about when we get off the air. I entered a waffle and I won it, but I might not get it. But we'll talk about that off the air. Yeah.
That'd be like me putting in a raffle for an ice castle and then not wanting it.
No, I want it. We got to talk about it, but yeah. Oh, Pat's watching from Honolulu. I saw he went to Hawaii. I'm like, when he went to Hawaii, it was like 34 in Minnesota. So it's like, man, that's like Hawaii in the wintertime for us is 34 degrees. I'm kind of excited. Sponsored by Mod Can't Get It. No, Jeremiah, it was a different waffle. It wasn't a Mod waffle or anybody I'm sponsored by. Before we get into notes, so I started messing around with the drone. Did I tell you about that last?
Nope.
I might have.
Well, you might have mentioned it.
So I got this drone, tried it out, and what happened was I tried to take off with it. One of the props flies off, and the drone flips upside down and death revs like crazy. I'm like, okay. So what I find out is the pitch for the threads for the props is wrong. So it's like, I'll change the motor. The motor was $20. Change the motor. It is nerve-wracking soldering on those little boards. Little 18 gauge wire. Pat's saying it's right around 80s all week. Well, that's nice, Pat.
That lucky dog.
Well, I mean, Hawaii seems like a ton of fun. I want to go there.
For sure.
I mean, I hate to say it, but after the fires and natural disasters and who's buying up the property, it's going to be a destination only. They really screwed the people of Hawaii, but I would like to go to vacation there. Anyway, So I got the proper motor in, I put the prop on correctly, and then I go out to a school field because I'm like, plenty of room. So I take off with it, and then all of a sudden I can't see it. I'm like, okay, that's fine. And I start looking at the phone. The phone's just pure gray itself because it was just a cloudy, shitty gray day. I have no idea where this thing is at all. Like, no clue. But what's nice is there's a return home feature. So you slide that and it'll come back to you. And I'm thankful that it worked. So hopefully I want to try to take it out again tomorrow.
That'd be pretty dope.
Yeah.
Is it that white one?
Yeah. Yeah. I don't my boss gave it to me. He's like, I don't use it anymore. Here you go. It's like, sweet. And I mean, I really like a project in itself too. So all right. So we have a couple of day after notes from our last podcast.
As
One
always.
Juan Carlos Canas went to J Concepts. So I think he's going to start getting up on Ungaro because Ungaro's still with Matrix, okay?
Mm-hmm.
But X-Ray threw down the hammer and told Ronald Falk, you are leaving Matrix. So Ronald Falk is no longer with Matrix Tires anymore, which I'm kind of excited about. I mean, it sucks the way he left HB and it sucks the way he left Mayako. It's really shitty he didn't honor his contracts all the way through. But I do like Ronald Falk. Like, he's got a good personality. He's a world-class driver. He's an awesome dude. I think X-Ray is such a big company that he's not going to try to fuck him. X-Ray, I know for some reason, in some way, the RC car company is subsidized by the government. Yeah. No, X-Ray does something else. I forget what they do, but it's government work. Yeah.
That's a good
X-Ray.
one.
No, it's not.
Well, to me it is at least.
No, X-Ray is government subsidized. So they're a little bit more serious than HB and Mayako. Did you see Bruggy's got to be going away in 2025?
Mm-hmm.
I had a few thoughts about this, and it's fun seeing the arguments and stuff like that. The thing that sucks are regular truggy bodies, as we all know, who's all ran a truggy, they break easy.
They do.
But other than that, no big deal to me. And then people are like, well, I spent this to get this painted, blah, blah, blah. It doesn't take place until 2025. It's long enough to let the manufacturers get their shit together.
Start making legit truck bodies again.
Yeah, Kyle says it's a 7-scale buggy, and it really is at this point. I guarantee if I put a truggy body, you lose several tenths with the standard truggy body. There's a reason why all the pros are using the bruggy body. If the regular truck body was faster, they would use it. If it was equal in speed, I don't know if they would use it. I mean, I'm sure with J Concepts, they'd be like, if you're equal in speed, we'd really like you to run the newer stuff. That type of thing. Regardless, such a silly, silly thing blew up the internet, and it made a lot of anger with people. And I just hate when people bring up the financial thing about it. It's RC cars. You've thrown away hundreds of dollars, thousands of dollars, tens of thousands of dollars. What's another buggy? And if you want to be fancy, a paint job or another body. I mean, all said and done, $150 will get you a painted up truggy body.
It will.
So how about race? and be happy that you have an organization that's looking at all the rules and give a shit. That's another thing people brought up. They're like, well, why is Roar focusing on this and not that rule and not this rule and not that rule? They have to look at every single rule individually and make a decision on every single rule individually. They're going to get to what you are currently butthurt about. They got to Bruggy at the last meeting. Next month, I'm sure they'll get to something else. Have patience. You finally have a group of guys that care, that give a shit. I mean, you have Brent Densford in there. You have a retired racer's mom in there. You got Clayton Young in there as president, who's put everything into it. Who else is it? Zach Donathan's your Region 5 manager, and he's at all those monthly meetings making his... You got people who legitimately care about racing. And then they make a decision on a rule that's never been changed, and you're fucking butthurt about it. Or you love it. There's no middle ground. Hey, Ryan Knutson checking in. But yeah, it's one of those things. Come on, man. It's just a body. And if you were only running a truggy because of the body, well, see ya. I don't know. Yeah. I mean, I run a truggy because Joe Scaramel checking in. I run it because Austin's checking in. Anyway, I run it because it's the best thing to run in 40 plus. I don't know. I was thinking about doubling up next year, adding a second class at the MNRC. We'll see what happens. Joe 3 needs a truggy himself, though, because he's not running Sportsman this year.
I got one right behind me.
No, I'm not doing a 0.2.
Why not, man?
Because the initial...
Don't you dare tell me it's about the ring and pinion deal.
No, after the initial cost of the truck, it's so much easier having the same kit or the same basic kit. So let's say they come up with the 0.1 associated. Well, still basically all the parts between the T4 and the T4.1 are, for the most part, interchangeable. We need to be on the same chassis platform. I learned that the hard way when he was on a B5M and I was on a B6, whatever I was on. It was too hard. It's too hard to keep up. I might be doing something to my truck and I'll think it's awesome. And if he has your old 0.2, I do it to that truck and it's fucking terrible. So, Xander checking in. Ryan's giving a thumbs down to the Bruggy body. Jeremiah says the RC pages I follow all been talking about the new Sparco cars from Taiwan. A lot of buzz. Is there anyone behind the company that we would know from the industry? Legit competitive racer, or are they just Chinese junk? Jeremiah, I hate to tell you this, but they're all Chinese junk. Every single one of them. Every single car. Most RC cars are made in 3 factories, and that includes Team Associated, that includes TLR, that includes whatever. Nobody's pulling plastic in America anymore. It just doesn't happen. You could literally go, JQ explained this before too. You could go to one of the factories that make an A-scale car, and they have off the bin parts and said, I would like this chassis with these arms and these gearboxes and this and that and this and that. You could and say, I would like to produce this under the Joe Buttfuck name. And you have your own car. It is that easy. Now, companies like Team Associated, they make their own designs. Don't get me wrong. Team Associated, Mugen, TLR, They all make their own designs. They're not off the rack type scenarios, but they are produced overseas. And they have been since Team Associated's been produced overseas since 2004. And I want to say Horizon, when I don't know how long they've been out of America, but I know Horizon bought Losi in 2000 from Pops. Austin, yes. Austin, you missed it. I was talking about X-Ray. He goes, I believe X-Ray is actually built in the house. Hence why they expensive. No, you're right, Austin. And they got instant prototyping abilities at the X-Ray factory. I was telling Joey that their government subsidized. Yeah, Corey, you're correct. Team Associated was bought by Thunder Tiger in 2004. The original RC8 was kind of mostly a Thunder Tiger. But anyway,
That's a hell of a name, Thunder Tiger.
Yeah, I don't mind it. You know, you could add in I can't I can't add that in. I have another name, but anyways, so Sparco, oh man, there's a lot of good in it. And Sparco USA is throwing a lot. Well, they got Cavalieri, and they got Ryan Pavitas, and they got Tyler Jones. I always get Jones and Hooks mixed up, even though they look nothing alike. They're just both Tyler. They got significantly good drivers. They got a really good car off the bat. Didn't Tyler Jones take fourth with it at SICK?
Something like that, yeah. I know he was up there.
Yeah, and he TQ'd around.
Mm-hmm.
Tyler Jones hasn't been that high in a long time.
Mm-hmm.
So Gary said those were my dream car back in the day. The Thunder Tigers, yeah. So back in the day, another back in the day lesson, before Team Associated got in it, and I would probably say a tick before Jammin', they were probably still competitive with Jammin', but it was like Kyosho, Mugen, and Thunder Tiger. It's like you wanted one of those guys. And then Jammin' came out with his car. That thing was super dialed. And then Losi came out with the first TLR8, and people kept up and people beat it, but I want to say the first year or two of the TLR8, Chad Lindahl was the main driver of it in Minnesota. And I want to say he went undefeated for a year or two. And then, Jeremiah Offna. I forget about Offna. They had a 10 scale 4-wheel drive gas car. That thing was sweet. But cars have had their reigns. The TLR, and then Kendall Welch, when he was with Kyosho, he went 3 years unbeaten in the MNRC. I want to say from the 777 all the way up through the second version of the MP9, maybe. So, I mean, there have been standout cars in the past, but I don't think we're going to get that standout car anymore. Except, and again, though, Lutz is looking really, really, really good with that Kyosho.
Yeah, after he made the switch from Techno over to Kyosho, it definitely brought a little bit of light to him.
But because there's all the people who follow pros where they go. Like, there were so many people that jumped ship from HB to X-Ray when Ty switched, and there were a ton of people that switched from whatever to whatever, from Losi to HB when the Fullers switched, all that stuff. I'm telling you, man, I've been seeing a lot of good stuff out of Kyosho locally too, out of the A-scale scene. I want to say it was probably a good thing that they kind of stopped with that 10 scale shenanigans they were doing and put all of their focus back into A-scale. Torian saying, yep, that TT with the flat chassis conversion was good back in the day. I had one Kyosho. I had the TK i4, and it was, I have to say, it's the easiest car I've ever driven. By a lot. What are you yawning for?
I'm just tired, dude.
So am I.
I'm tired.
Yeah, no, I know what you mean. The only other thing I got is Tebow. He wrote a really good thing about sponsorship. Go look at his page. And then have you noticed there's a new trend going on with RC bodies? I hated it at first, but we've been doing the same stupid points for 23 years, so it's time to change. They're doing like this cartoon anime thing. So I wish I knew how to bring up my Facebook, but I've been seeing it. It's like,
What's it on?
I want to say Joe Garcia painted one. But so what it is it's like they'll paint it a solid color, and they'll like draw like speed lines in it, and it looks like it's out of an anime. It looks like it's out of anime. It really does. And I've been seeing this out of a ton of painters. I don't know, man. Ryan saying he'll send a picture of his new one. Yeah. It's a new design. Like I said, I hated it at first, but I'll tell you what, the first time I've seen the kind of paint that we have now was probably in 2000. Because we went from flames to drips to what we have now.
Who paints Kyle's cars? Is that JGO?
I don't know. But yeah,
I think he puts a comment in here in just a second. Because I think I've seen one he did a while back.
I'm sorry. I know this is boring to people, but I'm looking right now. Did Bradley do one? Bradley Fine Line Designs. I know Corey knows what. I guarantee Corey has seen it. God, that sprint car he's got on the front page is just sexy. Under Bradley Fine Line Designs.
Mm-hmm.
No, it's not under his. I don't know, man. Keep your eyes out. There's a new style of paint. It's a new, I would call it a fad. Jeremiah, you're right. It looks like Sharpie markers. Oh, crap. Okay, no, I'm still here. I thought I just shut everything. Which would be hilarious, but
there's one painter out of North Carolina. I forgot his name.
Okay.
Two-Toe Customs.
I think Two-Toe. Yeah. Two-Toe might have had one. Sorry, guys. I know this is boring, but I noticed it. I had to talk about it. Come on. Wait.
Oh, I see what you're saying now.
You see that green and orange one?
Yeah, hang on a sec here.
Yeah, hold on. Pull that up and I'll put it on the screen. Let me just get back to here. Jeremiah says, I know what you're talking about. It was white, looked like a cartoon. It was... No, it's different. And I looked at it, so try to make it big. But that's Joe Garcia, but that was one of the first ones I've seen, but I've seen a half dozen painters do similar ones to that. Yeah, like that. It's a weird anime paint job. I don't know, man. What do you think?
I kind of like it.
Yeah, it's different. You know?
I like this one a little bit better than this one. This one's just too bright.
It's too bright, and the white and the orange don't work together in that scenario. But that works well.
Mm-hmm.
Gary says, I trick mine out with Piggly Wiggly stickers. Joe says fugly. I thought that at first too, Joe, but I saw a solid color one with that paint job and it looked good. Will I do it? I don't know. I'm an old guy who doesn't like change. I mean, I painted my car just solid teal.
Well, this one's kind of neat.
Matt Hintzman says Jason White is getting good at it. I mean, Matt Hintzman, you paint. Jake says RC Airbrush Obsession Group on Facebook has pics of that style, and Kelly's saying I've seen them with flat color look. Jason Klinkner saying Smiley Hen has some on his page that are like that. This as well. As you can see, it's a new way to paint, which I don't hate it. I'm not dressed up in Detroit colors. That's Ben Salvacool. I'm dressed up in the Dolphin colors. John says he's not a fan. You know what though? It's like I said, it's something different to look at the track. It really is. I'm kind of, yeah, I was the old man yelling at the cloud like, what is this shit? But it's something different.
I think I found the solid color one you're looking at.
Yeah, Jordan Freestead says, look at Hobby Shed for the cartoon car. Yeah, they're all over the place. Knutson sent one. Oh yeah, Knutson got one. Here, I don't know how to pop crap up on the screen. I'll pop up what you're doing because it went away for a second. But let me send you what Knutson has. I'm guessing Jason White did this one. So, all right.
All they're doing is they're essentially just outlining all the lines, and they're making it look good.
Yeah. See, that's the thing. You see that little hashtag through there with the little bit of color? That's Knutson's new one. Knutson said he wasn't a fan until he saw one of Jason's bodies, and Hintzman says he agrees different is good. And you know what? I got a Matt Hintzman body one time or two times, and those were significantly different too. I really like those. I wish Matt would paint full time. John saying Brad Shear did some a few years ago where he drew on the paint inside with a Sharpie. It was kind of cool. Joe's saying not bad. AJ saying basically another gimmick for paint. I can see it being a thing for a couple months. I thought the paint or the points that we all have or all you guys have on your car would have been a fad for a couple of months because I'm like, how is the drip design going to go out of style? Because drip was still huge back then. And it stuck around for 23, 24 years.
Oh, hey, by the way, Mayfield took the Truggy A in the 30-minute Pro Truck TNR Fuels race.
Sweet. Oh, yeah, I suppose they're 2 hours behind and still racing. Yeah, that's good. Mayfield took the Truggy. So I assume they haven't raced Buggy yet, obviously.
Probably not. I'm actually going to look at that right now.
That's one of those things. It's like all of a sudden the TNR deal, it's another big race, which, God, I kind of feel bad for those guys. They're doing like 30-some events a year. I mean, at some point, it can't be worth it. What are they on? I'm put up TNR. Joe says close race with Heckert. Didn't Heckert go to Techno? Was it? We talked about him last week. Austin says his has been laying around for a while. Just lines that separate everything. Yeah. Anyway. Are you finding it? So here's a question. Is it on Live RC or is it under Mod's timing system?
It must be under Mods because I'm not finding it on Live RC.
Which I love. Mods, dude, I'll tell you what. So back in the day, I've explained this before. I never thought that anything would beat RC Scoring Pro ever. I mean, they were head and shoulders above auto score. JLap was a piece of crap. It was so bad. Oh, come on. I type in RC Garage and then ads for Target come up. Because that's where, at least for Silver State, for Fiscal, let's see here, organizations racing. Let's go up to there. Let's go up to events.
Oh my god.
No, they're doing the Snowbirds.
Here, I think I found it.
Okay, where'd you find it?
On YouTube.
Okay. But anyway, I never thought Evan Tapp checking in. Oh yeah, Scaramel bringing that. Nita Dawkin had an accident at the last Techno Series event. I guess she fell and hit her head, and she's been in the hospital in Omaha since the last series race. I didn't know that. So I hope she gets better. Chelsea put up a link on her Facebook page, and I think she put it in the RC group page as well.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, Evan Tapp checking in.
Hopes for a good and fast recovery for her.
Yeah, man, that shit's scary. What are they running? How do you make it bigger?
Expert Truck A-Main.
Oh, you're rewinding it. Gotcha.
No, this is live.
Oh, so is this electric truggy?
Nope, Nitro Truck.
I thought they just ran it.
Expert Truck, not Pro Truck.
Oh, gotcha. They call it different things. John says cleaning up the B64 carpet fibers ate the ring on. Oh, that's rough, man. It ate the ring on his diff. Well, it looks like I got to put mine. Well, we'll see. I'm holding out hope to get a B7 within the next week and a half. And if I don't, I'm getting a sprint car. I think, no, not yours.
Why? It's a proven winner.
Yeah, I know, but just the O-ring. Yeah, I've had I'd say every 4 diff fluid changes, so about every 8 weeks I replace the gasket and O-rings. Yeah, Justin saying thanks for all the support, guys. We really appreciate it. Well, yeah, of course.
Absolutely.
I got to make it down to Justin's and race before the winter's over, too. Gary's saying the Outlaw 5 or Velocity. Knudsen saying he's been getting into the SCX 24 stuff the last couple days. So I don't know if Clayton's is sold yet, but if it is, I might have a line on another Velocity kit. So I'm really hoping to get a Velocity just because, I mean, Rod Rippey's a good dude. Also, B7s may have shipped. Have you checked? Yes, John, I have checked several times, and they shipped Friday for some guys. I'm hoping mine ships by Wednesday, and if it doesn't, I did not make the first batch, and that means I'm not getting my cars until May.
Holy shit, Clayton's actually tuning in.
Yeah, Clayton says he still has it, so I'd probably be getting Clayton's if the B7, if I don't get it. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Because I have 2 kits on order right now, one for me and one for Joe 3, so we can keep our B6.4s into AstroTurf cars. And what's nice is the electronic plate is the same, so you can just switch them back and forth between cars. Ryan's saying he might be getting it. Why would you get it? Wingless is okay. Joey is. John's saying, "Oh, that's rough. It is rough." Would you rather have a winged or a wingless? I would think wingless is harder to drive.
They are, but it also comes into play too of what skill level do you want to be with.
That's true. You know, I was standing by the track during a sprint car race, and I'm like, why is it so freaking cold, and why is there a breeze coming in? It's like, where's the air leak in the track? And I thought Phil was just joking, and Phil goes, oh, that's from the wings from the sprint. I'm like, bullshit. He's like, no, for real. I'm like, really? That
Yep.
is kind of cool.
They carry that much speed that they will. If you stand in 1 and 2 on the wall, you can actually feel them.
Yeah, no, I was getting legitimately cold standing next to the track. Austin said he ran Matt Larson's wingless and it was pretty fun. Yeah. Matt Larson, he almost played alphabet soup to the A main and wing sprint. He went from the F main and he took third in the B main.
Yeah, he called me afterwards and he said he was doing pretty good.
Yeah, no, he did well. And that was just such a stacked field, which it's a good thing.
God, this just watching this makes me miss 8 scale racing.
Well, I mean, here's the deal, Joey. I mean, we got decisions we got to make in life. Are you going to race? You know what I mean?
We'll see after this year.
Well, that's the thing. I get that you got to get into the big car stuff, but it's like, if you don't have time for racing, it's like, I mean, it's hard because it almost seems like you can't keep up with the world if you're not racing and constantly on the sites. You know what I mean? You gotta, I mean, that's the wrong word. You gotta make time for RC if you wanna.
Right.
Knutson saying kids fast. Because that's the thing. I mean, I'm all in RC. I'm also all in jiu-jitsu as well, but one's a weekday deal and one's a weekend deal. It's things that, but I also don't have the opportunity to be in a real car. And then, so with your work schedule, it's like, I'm surprised you haven't found some place to race on a weeknight.
I can't.
I know. Well, are you still doing that UPS shit?
No.
You're not?
But I work second shift, so I can't.
Yeah.
Can't really do nothing.
I mean,
and that's the thing, though. If I was on first shift, yes, I'd probably go race at MMR. I'd probably go race at the toy box. I'd be able to get out and race more.
Right. No, exactly. Zdenek saying RC's life, it is, at least for me and a lot of people listening. I mean, it's a very important part of my life. Doug is saying RC is hard when you're doing radiation treatments for cancer. Yeah, man, I understand. One of my best friends who died in a terrible way back in the day, he was working on the railroad and going through chemo, and then he'd go through like a treatment, and then he would go back on the road, and then I would see him at TCHR on a Tuesday. It was like, but he was a determined person. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Austin saying this summer's looks like he's not going to touch an RC car at all. Yeah, but Austin, you've been putting in the time this winter as well, though. Kurt saying, same here, second shift is the worst. I have been on it for a long time. It is. Seniors on, God, I would call it in between second and third shift. Seniors works 6 p.m. to 6 a.m. But he has Friday, Saturday off always.
So he works Sunday through Thursday.
He works Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, and every other Wednesday.
Mm. Does he work at Federal Premium?
No. He's pretty.
They run that kind of schedule.
Yeah, I have a couple buddies that I do jiu-jitsu with that work at Federal. It's like I won't see them for a weekend. It's like, oh, they must be on Hell Week this week. Knutson saying that's why I stepped away for big track pit crew and going to run A scale this summer. Jeremiah says Austin, I call bullshit, and Austin is racing a Hornet this summer. So Austin's actually, I don't know. Oh, Jake, sorry he's late. Can't wait to see you too. Well, you'll be seeing me, Jacob. You won't be seeing Joey.
Yeah, you probably won't see me. Circumstances brought about, I got to save some money.
Yeah, what's those circumstances? Yeah.
talk for private.
Yeah, no,
Couple people.
I gotcha. But yeah, man, it's one of those things. And another thing, and I'm not even bringing this up on the air really, but it's like if you're not racing and into RC, it's like, do you really want to be on the podcast? I know you want to be on the podcast. Don't get me wrong, because we've had this discussion before, but it's like, well, shit, do you have time? Because you're going to be big car racing this summer. You know what I mean? And on a Sunday night, are you going to be coming home late and not be able to do this and all that junk too? And that's all I'm thinking of too.
We could talk.
Yeah, but I mean, it's one of those things, man. For me, RC's life. Jacob saying he miss racing with you, Joey. Jeremiah saying, where at? Cool for you, man. I bet you. Oh, Knutsen's wondering, are you going to jump in the seat for the old man?
Maybe a couple times this year.
Yeah. That's the thing too. It's what happened to the mini truggy class? Did it die or is it still going strong?
Well, we don't have a clay off-road track to run them at, so
they are not fun on carpet. They're pretty fun on AstroTurf, okay, but they are not fun on carpet. They are. I wasn't a fan. Austin saying Granite City mainly. It's 30 minutes from his house. That's where he's going to be racing.
Granite and Ogilvy would be his best bet.
Yeah, I mean, I've driven by Granite, but I've never been there. I used to.
Go ahead.
No, I was going to say I used to drive by Granite when I was going from FTR to my old podcast in Sauk Rapids. Oh, it's 30 seconds from Austin's house.
Well, that's convenient.
Yeah. Lonnie's saying the Iron Range Racing Club is going to work with Gary on the summer oval series between our two tracks. Well, that's cool.
I heard something about that.
Yeah, no, it's cool. It's a really good idea. I think the border battle's helping out both tracks for AstroTurf and carpet. Dude, don't get me wrong. I like carpet, but I love AstroTurf. It is that perfect middle ground. Maybe because I'm older too, it's a tick slower than carpet too. I don't know.
It'd be just like dirt and carpet, huh?
No, it's right in the middle. Astro is. So, yeah. I'm hoping more people see what the toy box has done. They've been getting good entries at the border battle races, but anyway. So yeah, what do you got coming up? Gary's saying once a month type series should be fun, easier to try. Come to Eau Claire this summer for RC. Oh yeah, they have a oval at a bar in Eau Claire, Wisconsin.
Mm-hmm. So on our way back from Attitude a couple years ago, we stopped at that Red Zone and checked it out.
Yeah. Knutson saying he wasn't a fan of Astro, but he's hooked now. Well, you got to set your stuff up for it, put on the proper tires, and that's the thing. I kind of misled people on here when I was talking about the toy box, saying, oh, you can take whatever chassis and you'll be fine, just change the springs. And it's kind of true. But now we've developed a full AstroTurf setup for the B64s. The four-wheel buggies are pretty close between carpet and Astro, but I 100% changed my B64 between carpet and Astro right now. 100% change everything. So, and that's another reason I was hoping to have my B7 this year. So I can have one for carpet, one for Astro. Canutes and thumbs down to four-wheel. Yeah, well, you got to be up on your wrenching for that, man. Do you have anything coming up for any good races, anything?
Just the hobby farm mainly. And then once my dad comes back, we'll kind of transition over into big car stuff.
Right. Yeah, Hobby Farm they're taking next week off. They're coming back the 10th. Then Dollar Hobbies is having their monthly club race on the 9th. So Stratton's saying he likes the turf because the track's handled a little more loosely and not so darty and quick like on carpet, especially at Dollar. No, I agree. It is. I'm one of my favorite tracks, and I got to get up to the Fargo area because they got Thunder Road's AstroTurf, but I loved Thunder Road's AstroTurf. That was just about perfect. I mean, it was so good.
Never once ran there. Only on the carpet.
It was fun. You missed out, man. So, anyways, got anything else?
No, I was thinking about something earlier, but I forgot what it was.
Yeah. All right. Well, I'm Joser Jr., and with me was Joey Fitzsimmons, and we've ran out of talent. Have a good night, guys.
Later, y'all.